Joining me now is America's Got Talent finalist Benton Blount. Benton, thank you so much for being here with me. I want to talk about something that's been going on in your life. Apparently, you were canceled from a tour that you had been working on because of your support for President Trump.
Yeah, that seems to be what the issue is. I've still yet to get final word from the management company as to exactly why, but that was what I was told through a second person.
And you were working with Billy Gibbons. You were the opening act for Billy Gibbons, and you had a contract for 7 shows?
Yes, we had agreed about 6 months ago. We found out we were going to get to do the tour, and we decided the dates that were going to work and got the contract signed for all those 7.
Okay, so tell me about the picture that you posted that allegedly caused all of this drama in your life.
Sure. It was the midterm elections, and I got up super early to go to vote, and I just threw on clothes, and I went and voted, and I came back, and I was standing in the kitchen and looked down and realized that I had pretty much all red on. I had my I voted sticker. I had a Chick-fil-A drink in one hand and a Chick-fil-A biscuit in the other, and my MAGA hat. And I just thought it was kind of ironic. It wasn't something planned. I just did it. So I decided to take a picture and posted it on Facebook with a little caption that said, "I'm sure this is going to offend multiple people in several different ways," and then put hashtag vote. That was it.
And you are also claiming that you were banned from Facebook because of this post.
Correct. Yeah. I had tried to originally boost the post just because I was getting so many likes from it on Facebook, and it immediately kicked back and said, "You're not allowed to boost this post because it's of a political nature and you have to be verified," or something like that, which was fine. And then maybe 30 minutes later, I went to sign back on the Facebook, and a pop-up window came up and said, "You've been banned for 24 hours for violating community standards." And then the picture was gone once I came back.
So did they explain to you in detail the ban? Was it because that you were trying to boost a political post?
They did not specifically say why the ban actually happened, other than I violated community standards. But under community standards, when I went to read, none of it said that you couldn't try to boost a political post. I just figured that it was a result of that flag. Maybe a moderator saw it and didn't like it for whatever reason and took it down.
Yeah, I reached out to Facebook. I haven't heard back yet, so I'll hear their side of the story. Now, I want to get back to Billy Gibbons. So you actually show up to work. I think you drove, 3 hours to one of the shows, and you had your team with you, and you didn't even get to perform that night. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. The guys that play with me came from North Carolina, and they got in the van with us in South Carolina, and then we drove to Atlanta, which was about 3 hours away. And from there, we walked into the venue, talked to people, and then went to dinner. And while we were at dinner, I got a phone call from my producer in Los Angeles that said, "It's going to sound like a joke, but you've been kicked off the tour because of a Facebook post."
And why is that? Is the manager of the Gibbons group, is he very liberal? Does he not support Trump? Is it Gibbons himself that isn't a Trump supporter or feels uncomfortable with your post?
Like I said, I've honestly yet to get a firm answer from anybody. They've never contacted me directly. It's still just from that one phone call. But from what I've heard, the management is fairly liberal. So I'm guessing they did not like the outfit that I had on.
Because I read a quote from Billy Gibbons back in November of 2017, and he didn't have a ton to say about Trump. He didn't really say whether he was a supporter or not. He just said it's a hard job to fulfill. You got to let the guy who holds that place do the best that they can. And he went on to say that I'm glad I don't have to do it. As I said, it's a challenge that's really quite a great bit of fortitude and stamina. We will see. Frankly, I don't care. Just make sure we keep this country in a forward direction. So he didn't really have a big opinion on Trump, but you're saying that maybe some people in his team or the manager have an issue with Trump.
Yeah, and to be honest, I had seen that article when it came out, and
that was in Rolling Stone.
Yes, and I knew that he wasn't very political, but I knew that his stance wasn't like, I hate conservatives or I hate Republicans. So that's why I felt pretty comfortable posting a picture while I was on tour with him, because I thought he was pretty indifferent to the whole thing in general. And I've played shows with him before. We know each other. We've sat down and had a beer together, like that we knew each other. So it was never really a question. I still don't think to this day that he was the driving force behind kicking me off. I just think he probably could have done something if he wanted to.
And then this is what they said. I read this in an article. I haven't reached out to the team yet. It says a spokesman for the Billy Gibbons tour released a statement on Friday. It said Benton Blount was disinvited to continue the tour because of a creative decision. And in this article, it said no other explanation was offered. And so that's where you're at right now, is just there's no other explanation. And, I mean, I guess this tour for them and your contract, they're not going to pay you for those extra days, and they're not going to allow you to continue on with the tour. So what does that mean for you?
I mean, for me, as bad as it is that I don't get to do the tour, and I still, I admire Billy Gibbons, what he's done for music and his guitar playing and that kind of stuff. But it's just really, for me, is moving forward. I just hated that I had to take my band through the motions of going through that, and then our families and our situations with clearing things out, because we were going to be gone for an entire week. We were going from there to Houston and San Antonio and come back. So just took some rescheduling, and so my real goal is just to continue moving forward and keep doing what I've always done, sharing my opinion, just not on stage when it comes to politics.
Yeah. And when they say this creative decision, were you having any other issues with the group? Were had they complained to you before about maybe your work? Is there any other reason that there could be why they would just disinvite you?
No, and that's why the comment that they finally put out after a local news channel had been hounding them pretty much all day about it kind of stumped me, because we had nothing but rave reviews. We sold tons of merchandise and CDs. Even their camp said that we did a good job on the road. So until that day with that particular picture that came up, everybody seemed to be super happy about it and happy with the direction it was going.
Yeah, so you're just 100% convinced that it had to do with this photo that you posted on the internet. And what does that say about this manager or the group, or just in general, this feeling that you get from Hollywood, that is, they're so for diversity except for diversity of thought, and conservatives really have to hide the way that they feel. If not, they worry about retaliation or getting their gig canceled?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way I've felt as a result of this, and I kind of felt it going into it, but I thought that we might be with a different group of guys who thought differently. And my opinion is you should have somebody that supports liberal agenda and a conservative agenda standing on stage together playing music, because to me the music's completely separate from those things, and we should at the end of the day be able to have separate opinions and still